for kindness while I'm just, oh, we're live.
No problem. It's
Ugh.
You're actually good at these type of shows, so don't worry
For some
about
reason. For some reason.
it. It's a natural well
Uh,
yeah, well, welcome to the ripple effect here. I'm just getting final confirmation. I don't believe it until I see it on my own here. So there we go. Um my name's David, and I get warmed up because I have an hour show before we meet, Erica, and I know you were actually swimming, you said, right before we came on, and
yeah.
dealing with um talking about some family stuff, but we don't have to go into that, but we had some topics we were going to talk about today, but I don't know if you want to do a quick check-in on anything or your swimming. I know we were going to reiterate really the point of this show was actually started in the beginning of COVID about mental, spiritual, and physical health. And, that is even more essential today as we're dealing with, the everything going on in the world. You'd mentioned just the general, where they call it zeitgeist, or the general mood out there is really uncertainty, fear, a lot of really, I mean, difficult to focus on certain things depending on where you are. If you are in a war zone, or potentially going to be in a war zone, or know people going into a war zone. We have two major conflicts. There could be even another theater that opens up. So we'll see. But how.
Such a complicated topic, David. It's hard to it's hard to even figure out how to talk about it. But it's, this conflict has been going on for a long, 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 longer than we've been alive time. And yeah, it's just very sad.
Yeah,
Um,
it's I I know we've talked about this a little bit on Quantum Leap. I think generally under normal circumstances, starting a new business or running your business is challenging enough. But I just think of the productivity losses in the times we're living in now. When you add in all this additional stuff, it can be almost near impossible for some people, depending on what kind of mindset you're in. So I actually was talking to Corey about that. We're going to be putting out a book early next year on some of this stuff about how to really stay focused. And Corey, the advice he gave, he actually just went on a trip with Gail to the national parks, and he looked at his phone a little bit, but she didn't even go on social media at all. And then just she
yeah.
said it was great, but then when
Oh
you
my
came
gosh.
back,
I would
can you
love,
imagine? Yeah,
I love that idea, David. And,
yeah.
I've been having some phone glitches with this new carrier. And I was like, maybe I need to just have a phone that's not a smartphone, like a dumb phone, an old flip phone, and just keep it very focused on just can make phone calls and texts and nothing else. Just as a way to simplify, I look at the computer a lot. And, at the end of the day, my eyes are tired. So just this idea of like less noise, less bombardment. And, I'm not sure. There was somebody on my swim team who just had a fatal car accident. And I have no idea if it was because of a cell phone situation, but, there's so much distraction. And, so anyway, I don't mean to be all Debbie Downer, but drive safe. Don't look at your phone when you're driving. And because we're we're losing people in more ways than one.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, there's one, coping mechanisms, a lot of things we talk about on this show, but also you need distractions that are good distractions, so to speak. So when you get home, I find it's very helpful if you can take your mind off maybe work or something that might be on your mind. Maybe it's watch, some people watch movies. I don't really watch that many movies, or I like listening to music or playing with Carrie, or we actually went to Jack London Square yesterday, and I hadn't done that in a while, just like in a work day, to just go out there, and it was all sunny, and it was like before the Niners were on Monday Night Football, so we were just kind of had like a free afternoon, and I'll share the pictures. But something like that, just to break up a pattern and do something unique. Maybe go for, you like going on hikes, or just do
Yes.
something that you wouldn't, maybe you don't feel like doing it initially, but connect with somebody you hadn't seen in a while, maybe family or friend, and just go do something that you don't
Yeah,
normally
like
do.
being in
Yeah.
nature. And my friend talked about this, like just taking your shoes off and having your actual body touch the ground, the earth, and like totally letting the energy of our planet soak into your body, because it's a thing. There's definitely energy in there, and we're all on the same planet trying to figure it out. What the heck? So I think that's an easy hack, and it doesn't take a lot to just slow down and sit on the ground, or take off your shoes and socks, and like Richard Gere's character does in Pretty Woman. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that there's also that part in Die Hard I remember after you get off the airplane, but
What's
um
that? What's that part? I don't know that. I don't remember that. What happened?
Bruce Willis, when he gets off the airplane, how he just like makes fists with his toes, after a long flight. So he's doing that while the terrorist people are moving into the building, and um I don't know.
Oh,
That's one of my favorite movies, but I remember that. Yeah. We're getting a little off track, but what you did bring up something that I thought was interesting. Oh, about one thing that really helped me was having a one-to-one with Corey yesterday. We hadn't done a one-to-one in a while, and that's kind of set
hmm.
me straight with the book and things. And I feel like this show does that. Us
Yeah,
connecting is also a little bit
it's a
therapeutic.
wonderful project that we have here with you and Corey with you and me with you. And so tell me what's going to be the title of said book? I love it.
Um,
If you know.
the kind of the filler title, well, it's basically about quantum leap, so we might even call it quantum leap, but I have an idea, but I actually don't want to give it away until that's in print. So
Okay.
but it's basically the Rising Star program, and it's kind of aimed at younger people with a lot of the stuff that Corey teaches. But I can actually tell you the topics here right now if I bring up my little thing. Um, and I taught this on that master class, so it's really about um, the essence of it is how do you make a quantum leap in your life. And a lot of this has might be, maybe you want to become a world class celloist or piano player, or maybe it's something business related. You want to have uh, begin $1 million business, get to that point at some point. So and it goes into purpose, goal setting, vision, core values, daily practice, self image, definite plan, terror barrier, attitude. And I have something that's called Be the One, really about discovering your uniqueness, and then how to make a leader shift. So those are the different modules and or chapters, if you will, but it's really going to be like a handbook of a lot of the stuff that we've learned in B&I. We've been over and over, but just to introduce this
Nobody,
stuff to
if you're
people.
tuning in, you
Yeah.
don't know what BNI is. It's
Yeah.
Business Networking International. We're both a part of a chapter here in the Bay Area, Business Networking International, BNI.com. So sorry to interrupt, but I just want people to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So, we got to add in some bridges, and I have all the content developed, but it's really intended to be just like kind of a quick handbook about, hey, check this stuff out, and be really accessible. And I have a workbook section too about each of these topics. How do you get started? And a lot of it you've seen in Lyft. Some of the same things are going to be there. So, um, yeah, so we're going to put that out in January. We'll get you an advance copy when it's ready, and we can talk about a little bit on the show. Yeah.
And do you have different coaches contributing, or it's going to be you're writing it?
It's going to be Corey and I. I mean, I already wrote um a lot of the content, but we got to put it together, and I got to have Corey review it and add in some stuff like an intro and a postscript, and um some
Wonderful.
revisions. Yeah. Yeah. So
Wonderful.
I think we talked about coping mechanisms. I think some of the chapters in there are hugely relevant in this environment. That would be daily practice, for example, a meditation, or maybe it's stretching or something in the morning to get you in a better headspace than maybe when you wake up with just on your own volition. But also the terror barrier, that if we're distracted in this environment, but you still have a dream or goal you want to get to, like you can't give up on that because of all these. It's easy, like you said, to just shut down in this environment, but you still got to press on. And
Yes, as my friend who she wrote the Great American Trailer Park Musical. We must make like a nail and press on.
Okay.
I know this person. We went to a performing arts camp. Her name is Betsy Kelso, and she co-wrote this musical play called The Great American Trailer Park Musical.
Huh, interesting.
Yes. So David, that's really exciting what you have cooking up. I love that. That's a huge feat to write a book and to put it out. And I'll be excited to get my copy and help others know about it. And what a wonderful thing you're creating.
Yeah, thank you. And I we did want to have something else on our agenda here about your tower gardens, because we were talking, we hadn't talked about those, but well, we had a number of other things that we wanted to look at, and I don't know that we're going to get to all of them because we're almost kind of running up at time. But a
Yeah.
little brainstorming session about what you'd like to do on this show, given the like, as we were talking, the world that we're in, like where do you want to take the ripple effect? Is there anything new you want to do, or what type of guests and themes should we look at? Maybe making a pivot in some cases, or um,
I think that, it's a good idea, is like thinking about the people that we're inviting to the party here is people who are, loud and proud about serving and how they serve, and things that touch our hearts and get us excited about taking our steps. And, the ripple effect is those little things that lead to bigger things and bigger possibilities. So, people who are lifting up others, supporting others, coaching others, inspiring others. So far, I don't think we've had anybody on here who wasn't like some kind of a change maker, some kind of inspirer. So people who are creating good projects.
yeah, no, I agree. And we had Katie Max on Quantum Leap. It's great to have people who have some of these tools and outlooks on, the things that are relevant. But I also believe, as we looked at the health issue in this environment, how, like life expectancy is like going down. There's a lot of like health issues. So I think,
Yeah.
what you do and the people are even more relevant, because if you can stay healthy these days, you can almost do it anytime, for
Yeah,
example, how do
I really love, helping people eat more plants, and my powerful plant powders have helped people stay well. They're, stay good all through the season of eating and cold and flu season and whatever the pandemic kickbacks are, so yeah, it's a no-brainer insurance policy on my health policy. So, I recommend it. I help kids and families get going. There's a free product program for children up through age 26. So it's a great program. And, David, I know you've had great results being a person who plays with the plant powders. And, there's so much goodness in eating more clean and more plants. We're not going to ever tell anybody to stop eating meat, but we can inspire more plants to go along with that meat, and it'll process the toxins and So I've been eating the plant powders for 14 years, almost 15 years now. Crazy. And and now I'm working on a triathlon. I'm coming up on my third triathlon sprint coming up, and I am somewhat prepared for it, but I have definitely got the swimming down better. And I really appreciate how I'm strengthening my body to be able to move through everything that I do as a person who serves people with mental health stuff going on, and just this idea of lifting up others, lifting up myself. So, and then you mentioned the Tower Garden. So yes, I'm always open to connect with principals, teachers, superintendents, parents of kids in schools, so that we can get our next crop of Whole Kids Foundations grants written, so that the schools can play with the vertical gardens. So far, I've gotten 4 grants with the Whole Kids Foundation for all different schools, different sizes. And so I just want to make sure everyone knows to connect with me, reach out to me, and ask me about how you can help your school get growing, specifically vertically, but the grant could be for any number of gardening projects. But I particularly love the vertical garden project. And the Whole Kids Foundation seems to also love the vertical gardens as well. So, we're crossing our fingers for this 5th grant to come through for a middle school in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. So if we get that one, that will be 5 of 5 grants written, and 2 are in Vermont. One's here in the island of Alameda, and one is up in Pengrove, California. That's near Santa Rosa. And then this 5th one would be in the fine state of Arizona, in the desert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great to hear. Yeah, we'll have to
I'd love
bring
to.
some of those guests on. That I've loved
Yeah.
those personal stories. And I'll just say one other thing. I don't want to call it a hack, that I've been revelation that I've had lately is about, this concept of one, staying in movement, doing some more stretching and things. I was talking to Nancy Williams about Pilates or yoga. I think trying new things like that can also help us stay focused and healthy,
Yes.
to add
Got to
those.
keep your core good.
Yeah, because
The
I feel
low
like
back.
I mean, swimming's like such its own unique thing.
I know.
When
It's
you
so
get out of
amazing.
the water, it's almost like all that wrapped into one, but
Yeah,
I don't
it
know
is
if there's
really,
other
Pilates,
techniques. Yeah.
gyrotonics,
Yeah.
and it's a whole mess of goodness in water. So it's sort of like you're buoyant, your body is protected from a lot of repetitive stress injuries. You can still get some repetitive stress injuries, but it's very protected. So it's such a gift to get to swim and be a swimmer with my people. I'm a dolphin. Did I tell you that? I know I'm a dolphin.
Oh, I didn't, that's the mascot for that team.
I mean, like, I just identify with the dolphins when I swim. So it's such a beautiful thing to do. And it's a great way to sail into my day. As a therapist, I work with a lot of people with their emotional stuff going on, and this helps me stay grounded and resourced. So I see you're looking at the time. You got to go. And
Um, yeah, well, we should wrap up just so we don't have it too
yeah,
long, but we can check in again soon. I know.
yes,
Um,
let's do
yeah,
so. And
yeah.
it's great to be with you all on the Ripple Effect once again, October 24th. Tune in and reach out, connect with us. We'd love to serve.
Thank you, and bye, everyone. We'll see you next time.